Hey guys, if you want to work in China as a teacher, the biggest thing to consider is location. As you know, location, location, location. I've lived in a small town in Jiangsu province with a population a bit under 1 million people. And now I live in Shanghai where the population is 24 million people. And I gotta tell you something, living in a small town has more benefits than you expect. There is a big misconception about teachers' salaries. Yes, teachers in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities have lower salaries, but it doesn't mean that they're saving less. So let's do the math based on my experience, my friends' experience, and my colleagues' experience. Please remember that you can always go cheaper or more expensive depending on your lifestyle. Average salary in Shanghai is 24,000 yuan, but an average salary in a small city is about 18,000 yuan. When it comes to accommodation, in a big city, if you want to live in the city center of Shanghai and you want to rent a one-bedroom apartment, it will go for about 7,000 yuan or 9,000 yuan. But remember, in smaller cities, you can get your accommodation for free, or for 3,000 yuan, you can rent a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom apartments. If you come on your own, your accommodation could be even cheaper than that because you don't really need a 2-bedroom apartment. When it comes to food, in Shanghai, you can find plenty of restaurants and a lot of shops with imported goods, which means that you'll be spending a lot more money than Chinese people, because if you order Chinese food or if you go shop into those Chinese shops, you'll spend a lot less. So on average, foreigners are spending in Shanghai about 6,000 yuan. This is their food shopping and eating at the restaurant. In a small city, this is not the case because there are no foreign restaurants. Maybe there'll be one bar or one pub or one shop where they sell some Western food, but there are not too many, so you won't be buying their food every day. There are no imported shops in small cities, so this is why you'll have to learn how to eat Chinese food. I don't know if it's good for you or bad for you, but it's definitely good for your wallet. Overall, I would say I spent about 3,000 yuan per month when I lived in a small city, and sometimes you could spend even less. When it comes to hobbies, I'm gonna share my yoga and Pilates price. I paid 3,800 for 20 classes, and they last for about 2 or 3 months, depending how frequently you go. You can also buy a gym membership, which is about 2,200 yuan. It is very cheap, and from my experience, gym prices are exactly the same in a big city or in a small town. When it comes to transportation, if you live in Shanghai, you'll definitely have to commute. And if you go to work by taxi and metro, it will be about 1,500 per month. But if you go to work by e-bike or if you walk to work like I do, your expenses would be a lot lower, as low as 500 yuan per month. If you live in a smaller city, you understand that there'll be nowhere to go. And the taxis in small cities are 10 to 12 yuan per 1 or 2 kilometers, which means that you'll also spend about 500 yuan for a taxi, but most of the time you won't use taxi because everything is closed. So you'll walk to your school, or you'll take a bicycle, or you'll take an e-bike. As you can see, you can potentially save between 6,000 and 8,000 yuan per month, or even more if you rent cheaper accommodation, or if you change your eating habits, and you can save between 9,000 and 13,000 yuan in a small city, which is cool. Salaries in small towns could surprise you sometimes. Most of the time they're low, but now and again you can get good offers from international schools. A friend of mine is from Ghana, and he really struggled finding a job here in Shanghai. And eventually he got this offer from Tier 2 or Tier 3 city. This was the city with lots of factories owned by German businessmen. So basically there were a lot of German people working at those factories and raising up their children. Those children went to that school, to that international school, and nobody wanted to go there because of pollution, because it's Tier 3 city, but they offered him 30,000 yuan per month, and he paid like 3,000 yuan for a 3-bedroom apartment. Again, I think it's an amazing deal if you want just to save some money. Like 1 year you save a lot of money and then do whatever you want, and he's super happy there. Let's talk about school environment. My honest opinion is schools in small towns are a lot better organized than schools in bigger cities, and here is why. First of all, they have frequent checks because there are not so many schools. Inspections can visit every single school, so they're really focused on delivering high quality teaching. They give training to all teachers. All teachers are professional, and everything that I've seen was like on a good level. It is really difficult to work there. Working in a small town is difficult because you really have to focus on quality and sometimes come and work on your days off. By the way, guys, if you want to know a little bit more about work-life balance, here is the video I posted a couple of days ago where I compared work-life balance in kindergarten to training center. Maybe it will be interesting for you. But in a bigger cities, nobody cares about quality teaching. Everyone only cares about marketing. They don't have frequent inspections because there are so many schools, and when inspection decides to visit schools in Shanghai, they just pick up random school and they go and check it. So a lot of schools, they just get away with a lot of illegal things they're doing. For instance, I'll never forget how in my school they decided to do this marketing activity and they gave students lobster for lunch. I think like you're just showing off. You have a lot of other problems to solve and you're just giving them this lobster. Kids didn't even remember that they ate this lobster. All schools in bigger cities, they focus mainly on marketing rather than really important things. By the way, I want to point out that I'm not saying that all schools are like that, but majority of schools here in bigger cities are like that. Now let's talk about staff support. In small cities, they will be literally babysitting you. So what does it mean? As I mentioned earlier, they sometimes provide you free accommodation, but that's not all. They'll take you to buy a SIM card, to open a bank account. If they don't provide free accommodation, they'll help you to find it. And they'll be literally guiding you with your visa and everything, because it's really hard to get teachers to come to tier 2 and tier 3 cities, and they will really need you. So they'll be babysitting you. And in bigger cities, this is not the case. The competition is very high. There are lots of foreigners, and if somehow you have some issues and you are not happy with them, they don't care. This is why in bigger cities they want you to be independent. So what does it mean? Nobody's gonna help you to rent the apartment. Nobody's gonna help you to open bank account, to go to the hospital. You will have to do it all alone. Sometimes they can even say, hey, here are your documents, go and apply for a visa. I've seen cases like this. And that's why I want to say that small cities are really good for newcomers, because in smaller cities, they'll show you around and it's not so intense. But when you go to a bigger cities, there is too much crap to sort out, really, and not everyone likes it. Some schools will be babysitting you in bigger cities as well, but normally that is not the case. Normally you have to sort out your things by yourself. My favorite, social life. As you know, in big cities like Shanghai, there are lots of concerts, there are lots of places to go, bars, pubs, lots of events, everything's in English, and every single time you'll have an opportunity to spend your money. But in a smaller city, this is not the case, because you go to gym, everything is in Chinese. There'll be a few bars or pubs for Westerners, but there'll be not so many places to go to. So this is why most of the time you'll find your way how to entertain yourself, how to make friends with local people, or maybe with a few foreigners who are there. But normally there are not too many foreigners in small cities. So this is the difference. If you want just a quiet life and you don't want all this buzz and going out, then maybe small city would be good for you. Let's summarize everything. If you really want to have a vibrant social life and you don't care about your savings and you are happy with those savings of 6,000 to 8,000 yuan, then big city is for you. But if you really want to save as much as you can and experience true Chinese culture, because in Shanghai it's hard to experience true Chinese culture. Everything's in English. And if you really want someone to guide you from A to Z on your first year and just take it slow, small city will be the best for you. If you prefer fast-paced life, Shanghai or any big city is for you. If you prefer slow living, small city is for you. So guys, let me know your thoughts. What do you prefer at the moment, at this stage of your life? I hope this video was useful and helped you to understand the whole thing. And please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And thank you so much for supporting my channel. See you later, guys. Bye.